It is doing it. Ladies and gents, welcome back to Falcons Therapy / the ATL Falcons UK podcast. It has been a hot minute, but all four of us are here. Usually it is a therapy session, but it's the off season, so surely we can't get that annoyed tonight. However, that remains to be seen. Chaps, how the devil have you been? It's been a hot minute. Anyone?
Good.
Life's
Good.
I
I think we're all just waiting for someone to answer. I think it's been a weird off season, isn't it? Because certainly, you guys know how much I love the draft and the first round drama, but it's been quiet because we haven't had to really worry about that. And some, influx of new people in the building, which I'm sure we'll get onto later on. But I guess just in general, I'm calm and collected about going into this draft. I think we've accepted where we are, right? And the new regime is doing their thing.
I'll take that. Liam, Cal, any advances before we crack into today's topics?
No, it's been quite a steady off-season for once. Not much going on.
Yeah.
Few incomings, few outgoings, but nothing that's creating the fan base to divide too much right now. But I'm sure there'll be arguments the next few days, as always is on Twitter or X, whatever you call it these days. But it should be quite a good draft. Always Twitter. But it should be quite a good draft. There's no we've obviously got so many pieces that we do need. Obviously, 5 picks isn't great, but we'll get onto that. But no, overall it's been pretty good, pretty steady for once, and Twitter's quite quiet for once in the Atlanta Falcons world.
It is in the Falcons world anyway. Like we were just talking off camera then about the boys at the Hawks doing decent. Nice little recovery the other day. So
yes, sir.
Some big ones coming up. I'm sure Mark and Liam are over the moon about that. There we go. I didn't even know you had that on, to be honest. So that seems like a plug.
Got the Hawks busy on tonight. Got to represent.
Right. So it's been a little while. So let's backdate a little bit and cover some of the off-season topics first, and then we'll go into the draft. So the Falcons picked up Tua. Where are we sitting on that?
I love it. For the price we got him for a 1-year deal, it's literally a no-brainer. If he stays fit for more than 7 games, I think it's a bonus for us. Hopefully Penix is back after the 7th game, but no, it's literally pennies for us. It's not costing us anything. We know what he can do. Obviously he's had many concussions, but we'll see. I don't think it's too many, but I don't think it's perfect for us. I don't think it's a bad shout at all. The price and what we know what he can do when he is at his best, so no brainer.
Nice, Mark.
Yeah, I mean, I think anybody slating this move just kind of doesn't really understand the game and kind of where we are. And I made a point in our group chat when it was all kicking off, and I said if they bring in Kyler, they're out on Penix, and if they bring in Tua, then I don't think they're out on him, but at the same time, I think they're kind of willing to just kind of see how he does, and he's still on his rookie deal. So it's if they are thinking about cutting their losses on Penix, then actually Tua provides an option, I think. And as Carl said, he's like the budgie, he's cheap, right? And he's capable. He had a really, really, really tough season at the Dolphins last year. Obviously, the concussions we know about. I think it's really easy to spin the narrative, Tua's concussions and Penix's knees and but actually, on the whole, we should still have a good core of an offensive line. So he's already in a better position. Our offense under Stefanski is going to be, I'm not going to say necessarily run heavy, but run driven. So there is going to be much less pressure on him to have to make 40-odd throws a game, I would imagine. So actually what's a test here is, can Tua manage a game? I think we've seen him manage games in the past. And, do I think Penix wins this battle? Yes, I think he probably does. But, we talked about Kirk and we said, look, it's an expensive one, but it's an insurance policy. And, look how that turned out. So, we've got an insurance policy. We've got a cheap one. Some may say a risky one, but I think given the QBs that were on the market, if you want somebody to be able to have the ability to try and at least win you a few games until QB1's fit, and I suppose I want to pose one question on this, and you guys can answer it after Liam's said his piece. But, if we are 4-0 under Tua at the beginning of the season and Penix comes back game 5, does Penix play? Well, you guys can shake your head. I'm still not sure. I'm not sure on the answer, but I think it's an interesting conundrum, and it'll link to what we talk about later. But I think this position, like many, are on a prove it year, because I don't think this franchise will hesitate to go, no, you're not the guy. Sorry. So yeah, I am not disappointed with it. I think it carries risk, but we're the Falcons, so every choice we make seems to carry risk at times. So I'm absolutely fine with starting with Tua next season.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's a decent option. So for the money, really, I think he's left-handed and stuff, which matches, what we've sort of set ourselves up to be. He's always, even last season, obviously he had a lot of problems with fumbles and sort of interceptions, but actually he was quite accurate on the throws that he did make. Like his percentage is usually quite high because he doesn't get asked to do a lot of deep balls and stuff, really. So if we can just play to his strengths and give him sort of the more easier reads, the main thing he's going to be obviously avoiding injuries and things is going to be just his confidence. That's the main thing. I don't really think he's lost much physically because he's still only in his late 20s, and I think he's still capable of every throw and stuff that he's always been capable of. I just think his confidence was completely shot for obvious reasons. And it's going to be about whether or not he's sort of can mentally reset in a new environment. May well do that. He may well be a very, very good quarterback. There is potential for that. That's the upside of it. Yes, he could potentially be an injury risk, or he could just actually have a meltdown completely. But I think there's a lot of upside potential as well. Even to the point where we're talking about, yes, he's potentially a stopgap just to get Penix back, but actually there's potential that he outplays Penix. There is an actual chance of that happening. So the fact that we've got somebody in place who could be the QB1 at least for this season, is a good thing. I'm not saying he's going to beat Penix out of it or anything. I still think Penix comes back in unless Tua is really shining, but the potential that he could really shine is good. It's good knowing that that could happen, and we could have a QB battle on our hands. If we'd have brought in somebody really old and just which you can genuinely tell he was there just to fill a gap. Like it'd be different.
Stopgap, yeah.
Somebody who could do something at the right age. So yeah, I like it for the money and for the there's a low risk really.
Listen, guys, we could have the Hawaiian Sam Darnold on our hands here. Like,
weirder things
you
have
are,
happened.
and don't make me get. And actually, we haven't spoke since that, so I'd like a moment of appreciation for the dude that I've stuck by all these years, and you lot wrote off time and time again, and I said, no, there's a winner there. And lo and behold, that man now has a ring. So just a moment's silence for you three, because I game knows game. So, yeah, and obviously I say that tongue in cheek, but Liam's spot on. It's and him being another lefty, like, guys,
big.
it sounds mad. But that is to have your two starting quarterbacks or your QB battle both being left-handed, not only from like our offensive scheme and things like that, but just from a defensive reading point of view as well, because it's going to be it's going to be really, really interesting to see how that pans out. So I think it's a great point Liam just made.
Yeah. No, I'm aligned with you lot. I think it's such low risk that what's them either. I prefer it personally over bringing in someone like Jimmy G or someone like that experienced this, that, and the other. But you know what that looks like then. You know that the level that you can get. Whereas Tua, we might get a rough version of him, but there's every possibility that we get a version of him that's somewhere near his best, or at least 75% of that. And in a hypothetical world where you do get that, then we're competing, and we've got two quarterbacks that are capable of reaching really high levels. So I take it.
Danny, we paid Kirk Cousins over $100 million to just be competent, and he couldn't do that.
Yes.
So like that's kind of my bar right now. Like, can you just be better? I mean, nobody's got a better agent than him. We know that. But
no.
like if you could just be more competent than the Kirk Cousins that we have seen for the majority of his time in Atlanta, then that I still think we win more games than we lose.
Yeah, without a doubt. On to one of the next big talking points then. Kyle Pitts, of course, obviously franchise tagged, but over the last couple of days, we've had some rumours circulating, and then there we go. Man's representing today.
You guys know that I am the unluckiest person in this fall with buying jerseys of players that end up going. Like, I've got a Desmond Ridder jersey somewhere, I'm sure.
That's just a shocking decision in all, though, really, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was poor.
Yeah,
it cleans up the leaks in my washing machine now.
Badly.
So where are we all sitting on Kyle Pitts? Of course, franchise tagged. As far as it stands, he's going to be staying with us for the season on basically a prove it and get paid or not. Like I said, rumours circulating that the Chiefs maybe want him, that the Pats maybe want him, bit of a trade in there. And of course, we've only got 5 draft picks. So I can envisage a world where we do look to try and get a little bit of capital back. Liam, do you have a preference at the moment in time?
I mean, it's probably like everyone's probably going to say it's about what value we can get in return, isn't it? Like, realistically, we need multiple teams interested. Otherwise, it's going to find it tough to get anything. Like, we need somebody what sort of potentially wants to outbid another team. That's the kind of the hope. I'd prefer to keep him unless we can get some kind of package that is really, really good and generous. I do think like there's obviously still quite a lot of value within him, but at the same time, teams do know that he's sort of obviously going into his franchise tag, and essentially he's on his last year potentially. So that does, it depends. Like, if we could get a player and a pick, that would be my preference over like getting a pick or 2 picks, just because if we got a player that's sort of like younger and got some potential and kind of like a little bit hit miss sort of guy, you might, at least you know what you kind of get him plus a pick.
Yeah.
If you get 2 picks, you could get 2. Obviously, yes, you could hit on them, but ultimately there's nothing to actually value it against. You just don't know what you're going to get with those picks. So I'd be interested in any sort of player plus pick deals. Somebody maybe is just a bad fit at another team sort of thing. That's what I'd be looking for. Because sometimes you can get a player who just genuinely is good, but just doesn't fit at that team.
Yeah,
to get something
sure.
like that'd be ideal. We'll just have to see what if we do get calls and what they are. I certainly wouldn't be against it, but my preference right now is to keep him.
Yeah. Cal, what are you thinking?
Yeah, I think it's quite similar to Liam. It'd be nice to have him for another year and see what he can do in a new scheme, considering he's been under 3 or 4 schemes since he's been here, which is obviously quite tricky for any player, to be fair. But depends what you get offered. Like, if more teams are interested and you get a decent amount of picks, I think they would let him go for depending what it is. Obviously, the Boomers obviously, well, good. It's obviously good to have rumors about a player. That is it. Friday is there a deadline, or will they just do it before? Well, they just do it before the draft, don't they? Which is obviously Thursday anyway.
Yeah.
So
it depends what the
but
dates are.
Yeah,
it does, doesn't it? Yeah. I would prefer to keep him, because I think under the new scheme, under Tua especially, it'd be good to see. But depending what we can get, because 5 picks is not a lot. And like Mark said earlier, I do feel like we'll trade down a couple just to get an extra pick or 2, because I do think we need that. But then, if you're trading him away, you do sort of need to replace him. Kinda, he's still a player that can succeed in
And
this
Joku's
team.
still
I
on the
think.
board. He's still sat out there looking for a team. Obviously, as our head coach now. Well, not now, but our head coach now. Obviously, he's worked with him before, so there is a 1-for-1 replacement there. Should we take that option? I can't imagine Njoku would say no either. To be honest, he's clearly holding out for something, which is
surprised he's not been picked up yet. But obviously, with draft around the corner, maybe it should be soon. Hopefully,
you look in deep thought, Mark.
Well, I suppose where my head's at with it, and I love the guy, and I think that he is super talented in his own way. However, I'm going to say that I think I would lean towards more dealing him and trading him. Now, that's not because I don't want him on the team. That's because I think this team needs to take some swings in the draft, and I think in that sort of mid-tier of the draft, I think there is a lot of talent which we can use to rebuild some areas that I genuinely think need rebuilding. Particularly, as you know, my affiliation with the big boys up front. I would like them to take, and I'm not going to say some swings, but I would like them to start bolstering up that O-line and that D-line. They've been bold, and I know we'll get onto it, but they've been bold. They've dealt Rook for a bigger guy. And I think they're just. I get the feeling that Ryan and Matt and the new sort of system are not shy about going, we will reverse or as many of these bad decisions that the previous leadership have made. And because they've been bold enough to do that a few times so far, I'm kind of leaning towards, I think they might deal him. And I think they'll probably drive a hard enough bargain. If we could pick up, and I'm spitballing here, guys, but if we could pick up a 2nd and a 4th, or two 3s and a 4th, Like that
Yeah.
would be enough for me. If I'm on, like, I'm with Liam. I'd love a player plus pick, but
Yeah.
but if you put like 3 of them sort of like early mid-round picks on the table, like I think we do it. We don't eat the money; they eat the contract. So we automatically get more money back on the cap from the tag. And yeah, to me, I just there are a lot of teams that passed on Xavier Watts last season in the 3rd round. There is
Yeah.
value to
Yeah.
be had there, and right now I'd rather go. Let's absolutely stock that D line with run stuffers. Let's absolutely go after some, as I keep saying, because I fully believe it, some big corn chewing farm boys up on that offensive line, because we showed last season that outside of the starting 5 that we were in on the ground, right? So. Yeah, I think that's where I'm leaning, and I'm wearing his jersey, and I've already made a joke about it. But I think like I'd be really sad to see him go, but it kind of feels like the sensible move. So I say trade.
Yeah. No, I think I'm probably leaning with you a little bit there. I don't have anything against Pitts. He has showed progression. He's never quite been the unicorn that we thought he'd be. Like Cal said, maybe incorrectly utilized under certain schemes and things like that. But when he's acted basically as a wide receiver as opposed to tight end, you look at his receptions and everything like that. Statistically, last season was his best season. He's improved every single year. But on paper, drafting him at 4, was it?
Yeah.
You would have been expecting that kind of season after a couple of years, not after 4 years.
Yeah, and I think the truth of it is that everyone was blinded by such a really, really good college football player. And look, he's not the first, and he won't be the last, right? That Florida season was very much Cal Pitts down there somewhere, and it's and I think you would probably argue that he made Kyle Trask look a lot better than he was as well.
Yeah.
So it just feels to me like, had we not been blinded by the whole BPA and he's a unicorn and stuff like that, which I think a lot of people were, I don't think he would have gone very much later in that draft, FYI. But was it the right pick for us? No, maybe not. And definitely not utilized him to his ability. But then again, he's a tight end. He's not a big guy. Like when I say not big guy, he's not a
big
guy.
He's not a wide guy.
And your point about Njoku just kind of sort of cemented it for me. That's why I looked so kind of deep in thought, is that Stefanski likes using 2 tight end sets and big boys, So anyway, that's where I'm at. I would not be disappointed if it didn't happen. Like I say, I love the guy, but that feels like the right move if the right offer came in. If someone's just going to give us a 3rd, like no.
No, I mean? It's got to be of value, hasn't it? But like you said, even running them 2 tight end plays, we have brought back Austin Hooper, which yes, he's on the back end of his career now and things like that, but still serviceable, and he is a big guy, especially comparatively to Pitts. So there is method in the madness. And for me and Cal personally, Hooper was one of the reasons we got into the Falcons in the first place. So
yeah.
Was into seeing back.
Listen. And I mean, I can speak to it. Like I loved him. I thought he was great. But I've kind of said this before, is that like he looked better because Matt was throwing to him. Like that was in my personal opinion. Matt elevated a lot of his targets.
Many careers.
Yeah, of course. So it's he's been on the Browns again. Knows the system. He can block. He can do a job. That is again for me a shrewd, smart depth pickup.
Yeah, absolutely. So one more specific trade I want to talk about, and then we'll I'll open the floor to any of the other free agency signings that we've picked
Yeah,
up.
sure.
We got rid of Rook O'Ro. I think I did one too many rows then. But either way, in return for Mason Smith, that was drafted at the same time as him in the same draft. How are we feeling about that? Like you referred to, Mark, a little bit bigger. I think he's 1 inch taller, 20 pounds heavier, and he's got 1 inch extra reach, I think. Yes, I did look at all of that. It was tragic. But I wanted to gauge what we were dealing with there. How are we feeling about it? Because I kind of liked Rook. I think we saw glimmers from him, but he suffered some injuries. Then we didn't see him for a little while. Then he stepped in and he made some decent plays, but we just didn't really get much from him. So how are you all feeling about that one? Open the floor.
I think I don't know much about Mason Smith personally, but like I say, if he's a bigger guy, it's obviously that's the scheme they're going for. So it's a player for a player. Don't really see any harm in it. I know a few comments on Twitter weren't happy, but when is anyone happy all the time? But I think it's a good move. It's a player they wanted, a player they still see potential in. So I'm alright with it.
Yeah,
I think we need to call it what it is, right? Like we probably drafted Rook too high, and I said at the time, they obviously think he's their guy, and I'm a big believer in if he's your guy, go get your guy, right?
Yeah.
But I don't think he's reached the heights of whatever potential they saw in him. We saw progression last year. Don't take that away from him. But I think we have to consider the real world situation that we lost Dio, so we lost size on that D line. Dawless had a better season than Rook did last year, so if you're gonna have a slightly smaller guy on that line, then he's that, right? So
yeah.
I've said a million times that I think we need a bit more size and more run stuffing in the middle of that defense. So and I've spoken to some Jags fans. A couple of my pals are Jags fans, and they were kind of like, well, we drafted him in the second round, but he just kind of never. He was another Rook, I think they were a bit surprised that they took him in the second round. So I think it's kind of like essentially the same situation for both players. But I think for us, for us it's a better fit. So the trade works better because of the fit of the player in terms of the need that we have on the line. So yeah, I mean, I'm sad to say Ruko. He seemed like a great kid and everything, but again, as I said it earlier on, this front office are determined to right the wrongs that were made previously, and I think this is a great example of them doing that. So I have no issue with it. Am I excited by it? No, but every logical part of my brain says it makes sense.
Yeah. Liam, anything extra on that?
No, I think so. Just like because it's a new regime and stuff, it's just somebody that they prefer and the scheme fit that they prefer. So if this was sort of Terry and Cole doing this move, I'd have kicked up a fuss after what we actually obviously tried to trade up
to
move back down essentially. So but obviously new regime, it's different. You want a different guy. We're essentially swapping a somebody who doesn't fit for maybe somebody who doesn't fit kind of thing.
Yeah.
And a straight swap, similar age, obviously same draft. I don't really. I remember Mason Smith from college because he played for LSU and he was pretty good. For most part from college, I don't recall even seeing him play for the Jags, and obviously he did, but I can't remember anything significant that he did for them. But he's a big guy who can do a job. What he'll be asked to do and how much of it, I don't know yet. I think he's going to have to play a decent amount of snaps based on what I'm thinking in terms of what we've got on that D line. But he's a coachable. He's another coachable piece. Like the same way Rook was a coachable piece. He's another coachable piece, just with a slightly different sort of approach and style of play. So Obviously, I've got no issues with it. If that's, if they decided that's what they need to make their scheme work, then we just go and get what we need.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Lastly, before we move on to the draft, then I'm going to open the floor a little bit. Cousins was cut. Caden Ellis left us for the team that shall not be named. We picked up Dotson, Christian Harris, Jake Bailey, Zacchaeus has returned. Is there any of those pickups that you're happy about, or is there anything that you wish we'd done that we've maybe not covered? And Cal, no swearing about Ellis.
No swearing. I did write the word down, but I won't say it. I think he will be a miss, Caden Ellis, obviously, but
Huge.
I don't really care about him anymore. I hope he has an awful season at that awful franchise. So that's my last thing about him. One of the best signings we did make was Brian Robinson Jr. Honestly, I can't wait for the commentators to have an absolute nightmare with Bijan and Brian. It's going to be hilarious. But I think that's a good running back up to get. He'll do a solid job. He's not Algier, and I'm really happy Algier got paid at the Cardinals. It's definitely a player I will follow probably for the rest of his career. Out and about. Really likable guy, so I'm glad he's got the money he deserved. But I think Brian Robinson would do a good job for us. So happy with that one. Zacchaeus as well. He's obviously been here. He knows. Well, I wouldn't say he knows all the staff anymore, but he still knows
the building.
He knows the building anyway. He probably still knows the kitchen staff and all that lot. But no, I think that's another good pickup. But we'll get on to what we exactly need in the draft, because I think wide receivers definitely up there.
I think just on the back of your Brian Robinson one, I think, the commentators, it's a bit of a nightmare for them. I think fantasy football is going to have some absolute howlers.
It's going to be
some howlers. Picking him up in the first round with like the third pick or something. Oh my God. Devastating.
I can already just see the tweets. I can see the screenshots already. It's going to be great.
Yeah. It's happening. Go on, Mark.
Yeah, I think the key ones that stand out for me. I like taking a chance on Dotson. I think he's gonna really add some speed into that room. You can. I don't think he had necessarily a bad first season in Washington, and then obviously got dealt to the Eagles. We all know that Eagles offense was trash last year. Like I mean, it was obvious to everybody. So are we really that surprised that he didn't have a great? I mean, was there anybody that really had a great time on that Eagles offense last year? I mean, hello, AJ Brown. So yeah, I'm just it could be a slight overpay. I think the 2-year deal was like 15 million. Had it been 12, nobody would have batted an eyelid. I think 15 maybe feels like a lot. But yeah, I really like that. Taking I know it kind of feels like another risk, but I still like it because I loved him in college. Was getting oh God, his name's just escaped us. The linebacker, Christian Harris.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yes, Christian Harris. Yeah. In terms of, we talked about Caden Ellis, who I was obviously gutted to lose, but I hope he stubs his toe repeatedly every day for the rest of his life now. I think that's a real shame, but I could see him playing alongside Diablo in that similar kind of role. I think he's definitely got the ability. So I really like the idea of it. It's whether he can stay healthy. So but again, not that expensive, right? So I really like that, and this is going to be controversial, right? And I appreciate Zane Gonzalez did a great job. in his sort of interim role. I would not have been gutted to see him stay, but I think refreshing that whole punter kicker room was great.
Yeah.
And I like who they picked up. Folk speaks for himself. He's one of the best kickers in the history of the league. Yes, I realize he's old, but guys, we had Matt Bryan until he was like 65.
43 when he was still going for us or something ridiculous like that.
Yeah. So,
43.
but guys, you can't remember. Like, there's no disrespect to kickers across, any football community, but they don't have anything else to do, guys. Right? So, if he can perform, then I'm happy with that. I mean, Pinion was a mainstay, but again, we've seen some shockers last year. So I'm kind of glad that we've gone. Let's just refresh that sort of heart of that of some of that special teams unit. Jake Bailey, the guy who we picked up from the Dolphins. I mean, again, I'm not gonna lie and sit on here and go. I know all about punters. I'm very sorry if you can hear any background noise. Two of my dogs are deciding to have a fight outside the door. So yeah, I like the fact that they refreshed it because it obviously wasn't working. So those for me are my kind of highlights.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Just a very brief jump into the comments, kind of because your point echoes it, but I have been through it. Tom, thank you for watching. Absolutely, kind of just covered it a little bit, but the new regime aren't afraid to make moves to cover the mistakes of the past team, and that's kind of what Mark just got into a little bit there. Like I said, I wouldn't have been against keeping Zane Gonzalez, but from the nightmare we had last season where it's like, oh, good week, oh, bad week, change kicker, oh, good week, bad. Just stop it. Like you said, get folk in, start again, hope that he's still got enough in the tank because he's a kicker, and just have a stable. That's all we need, because the fact that we lost so many games due to having such an uncertain kicker position last year was that should not happen in professional sport. So I'll take that one as well. Liam, any pickups from you that you're happy with, or displeased with?
Yeah, I mean, I think we've done all right with the free agency. I think we've brought some pieces that are going to probably have an impact right away, and some that are obviously rotational pieces. I think Ojulari is going to be a very interesting one to watch.
Oh yeah, for sure.
He's probably my standout in terms of potential of the players that we picked up. He genuinely could go double-digit sacks in his first season for us, or he could struggle and maybe never see the field because of injuries. He could go either way. I kind of like it. Obviously, we've essentially gone and signed hot walls of Alabama players, so I'm always going to be happy with that because we picked up three. So they'll always fit well in anywhere they go. Don't worry about that. And then, but yeah, I think it'll be interesting. I think I like this.
Ojulari went to Georgia, didn't he?
Who?
Ojulari was Georgia, wasn't he?
Oh yeah, I mean, I meant Brian Robinson, Christian Harrison.
Oh, okay. Well, I was going to say, I thought my brain was melting there. I was like, Ojulari came from Alabama.
Three of the ones that I picked up are from.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I liked Brian Robinson a lot at Bama. He's never one of the standout running backs. But obviously, Bama's had a lot of good running backs, so it's hard to compare. But he's always he always shined when people never expected him to, and he's carried on doing that in the NFL. So I think it'll be a good pickup for us.
Wasn't he the dude that got shot?
He was the dude that got
played
shot.
The same season.
Yeah, he got shot in a armed robbery, didn't he? In a bar or something. I can't remember what it was. Yeah.
Man,
if that ain't hard, nothing is.
For sure.
Yeah.
He's a goer.
But yeah, I think overall I'm happy.
Yeah, I think just to point there, I totally forgot about Ojulari. It was such a good shout because I think if you, and I'm not going to get into this tonight because we don't know anything, and there's still waters are going to the bridge with the James Pierce Jr. scenario, right? So we'll wait until that's kind of concluded before we end up talking about it. But I think that if you think of what they've done, and you've got Leonard Floyd that went, and you've got Ebiketie that went. I would probably expect to see Jalen Walker more off that edge this season. I think that they'll really try and push that side of him. So if you imagine, really, we went from 4 edge rushers in Jalen Walker with James Pierce Jr., Arnold Ebiketie, and Leonard Floyd. Well, they've gone and replaced the 2 that have left. I think that's really interesting. So they've gone and got Ojulari and Cam Thomas, and lads. I mean, I've said it before, and I'm going to say it again. This is comeback season for Braylon Trice. Put a bookmark on it now. I'm telling you, I can.
It's got to happen sooner or later.
I've just got a feeling, boys. I've got a feeling somewhere that it might just be out of nowhere, totally unexpected. I mean, don't get me wrong. Is he going to be James Pierce Jr. out of the level of James Pierce Jr. last season? But no, maybe not. But thank you very much. But if we can get an even production out of those guys, I mean, are we getting the same amount of sacks that we did last season? Maybe not, but at the same time, we got loads of sacks last season. We said that was our problem, and we still didn't make the playoffs. So I just again, the moves feel kind of smart considering our money.
Absolutely. And sorry, just in terms of sacks there as well. If we finish top 10 as opposed to top 2, but we're more productive in other areas of our game, I'd take that. I don't want to be top 2 and 3 rankings for random metrics and then it have no impact on our game, other than being exciting to watch a run through of all 54 sacks or whatever it was come the end of the season. Right, let's do the fun one. It's draft time. Normally, every other year, we've gone through this round by round, and obviously had tons of excitement about who we're going to pick in the first round and all the hypotheticals. We don't have that. We don't have that joy. We've got 5 picks. We start in the second round. We've got, let me get them up. We've got 48, 79, 122, 215, and 231. So as opposed to going through who I think we're going to pick at each stage, I'll probably just open it up to you all a little bit in terms of the positions we're looking at or any hypotheticals that could arise in terms of, like, for me, I want a cornerback next to AJ. Like, I've wanted a cornerback next to AJ for 4 years now. So that's got to be semi-high on the list for me. Again, edge, maybe. I think we need more wide receiver depth. Obviously, you can tend to blag one of those a little bit lower down. So in this world of uncertainty, because we don't know who's going to be on the board come pick 48, how are you all feeling? Where do you think we're going to make moves?
I think this is what's quite exciting because we don't have a clue. Like, we know, like, it could be 4 different positions. I think it's quite there's obviously needs: defensive tackle, wide receiver, cornerback, even offensive lineman. With obviously McGarry retiring.
Yeah, sorry, I forgot to mention that. That's quite cruel, actually. That's a bad one, but yeah.
So obviously him retiring. I think the guy that stepped in last year did an alright job at times. But it is one of them where we could go from one side of the ball to the other. We definitely need a wide receiver, but I'd probably save that for a 3rd round or 4th, because you can definitely pick up some good wide receivers lower down. Cornerback, which is obviously a big position, which is obviously, like you said, Danny, it's been needed for quite a few years. We've always had like a stopgap every single year. Defensive tackle still need another big boy up front, like Mark says. So it could be any 4 of them personally. So, and then the edges, dependent on obviously scenario with Pierce Jr. So it could be anything, but a cornerback for me or a big defensive lineman would probably do it for me, and then pick up a wide receiver slightly later.
Yeah, happy with that. Mark and Liam, you want to break it down a little bit? Have you got any names circulating your heads?
Yeah, I mean, I've got a couple. Not that. I mean, not that I imagine you'd be familiar with any of them. I actually don't. So I'm expecting a trade down. That is
Okay.
that is my gut feel with that second round pick. Um, I agree with your sentiment around. I want a CB2. Do I see many cornerbacks that are going to be there that are worth a second round pick that won't have already gone in the first round? If I'm honest with you, Danny, no,
Yeah.
I don't. I think that there is value on some swings maybe in the third or maybe in the fourth, where cornerback's concerned. If there is no trade down, I would heavily expect we go wide receiver. That's my
Okay.
gut feel.
Yeah.
If we trade down, then I think it's probably more likely maybe defensive tackle, or I have got a name that I am watching at the minute, and I think it just completely depends on how the draft falls.
Yeah.
If the draft were to fall and he was still there, because I'm a nerd. I've done a couple of big mocks, and one name that kept on jumping out to me, which is quite interesting, was a guy. Oh God, I can't remember his first name now. His surname's Rodriguez. He's a linebacker from Texas Tech. Now, I think with Caden Ellis going and Christian Harris being a risk,
Yeah.
I still think that is a position of need.
Yeah.
And if he was there at 48, I wouldn't even entertain calls of trading down. I'd go get him.
Okay.
I think so. So that's kind of like my, if we were going to trade down, and he's there, I'd really like him. I
Okay.
think that
Cool,
that
what's
adds
that?
some juice, and hopefully it pushes JD Bertrand further away from ever stepping on a football field again. I think there's a couple of wide receivers probably that will be there that if we don't trade down, and maybe if we do, if I'm honest, but there's a couple that I've pulled out. I think Jeremy Bernard from Alabama,
Yeah.
I think is a distinct possibility. I think that he has the kind of skill set that we need. I think if you're going to trade down a couple of spots and pick up, a third rounder or a fourth rounder or something, and he's still there, I think he's definitely worth a pop. I'm not sure I'll be there on a trade down, but the other one that I had on my list was Chris Bell from Louisville.
Yeah.
Again, I think he is the kind of receiver that we need in terms of skill set. Very quick, good hands, and to me, it just feels like a natural fit into our team. So, say again.
He's built like a fridge.
Yeah, he's a physical. He's a physical boy. And I think if you in the event that you do trade Pitts and you've got him and Drake and you put a couple of like little guys, to be able to do that speed thing, then him to me would be again another kind of like, if he's there, then that upscales that offense quite significantly. Outside of the second round pick, I could list off a load of names, but I'm not going to. I've got a list of about 15 big boys for the defense and the O line. If it was me, I would, after that second round pick, just do that. If I'm honest,
I've we asked for people's mock drafts earlier in the week,
Mhm.
and one of your boys kept coming up quite a little bit, Mark, Caleb Banks from
Thanks.
Florida.
Yeah.
I mean, he was in 5 of the submissions out of, say, like 2025. So
Go Gators,
might,
baby. Listen,
might have
I
a
mean,
little
I'm not.
Gator on the team.
Listen, I'm. Unfortunately, my college team are awful. So it's, I'm not blessed with the with the sparkling resume that comes along with saying, "Oh, I'm an Alabama fan." But it's
What was?
listen, him for me, in that third, fourth round bracket. I mean, you could wrap me up and call me a sausage if that was if that were to come to pass. No earlier than the third round. In my opinion. But I mean,
Yeah.
be interested to know in people's submissions whereabouts in the draft he was projected.
Okay.
Projected second.
So
Thanks.
one of them is taking him at 48.
Oof. No.
He's projected
One's-
second round.
Yeah, one's traded down and taking him at 55. Not much of a trade down, but a trade down nonetheless. And then I don't know what draft these are running, but one's got him at 79. But
79, like for sure.
Yeah.
I'd. I mean,
I've got some
listen.
good names.
He is one of the for me, outside of the some of the obvious top boys, he is one that I would doubt that he falls that far. Hence why, I mean, he is on my list, but I just don't know if that position is a need to again. Whereas you could get somebody like some of the receivers I mentioned with a bit more literal upside to that offense. Does he elevate the defense more than Bell would on the offense? Well, my answer is probably not. But in the third round, sign me up.
Nice.
So anyway, I won't go into any more detail because I don't want to just spew names of people. But
it's all right.
But that would be my kind of vibe.
Well, we'll back and forth a bit anyway. We'll let Liam have his bit, and then I'll go through some of the other reoccurring names to see if you have any thoughts on them. Obviously, up in the air. But yeah, go on, Liam.
I mean, I think the position wise, I would say that there's a few options. I don't mind the sort of like the receiver pick in the second round, but I do think that there's quite a lot of depth in the receiver. Like, I don't think there's that many standout receivers, but I think there's depth in the class, as if in your middle rounds, I think there's genuinely some talent there. So I'd probably avoid like a receiver in that second round pick just because of that. But I like the corner pick or the defensive back pick, and I like a linebacker pick or a sort of a big defensive tackle potentially, but I don't think that class is that deep this year, to be honest. I think I know like we've mentioned about the corner that I would potentially take if he's there in the second round is Kevin Abney the second. That's a great name.
That's a great name.
You think he'll drop that low?
If he goes that low, he's projected to be middle of the second right now. But obviously, whether or not that will happen, I don't know. He's one that I think could potentially. He's raw, but he could play. I think he'd struggle to be a pure sort of like outside corner against sort of like a fast receiver. I think he'd get burnt a lot. But if we put him in the right plays, he's physical and aggressive in that type of corner, and I think that would work quite well. I think to complement sort of like what AJ brings, is a bit more finesse. It gives us a bit more bite, I think, in the secondary, which I'd quite like. I think I guess it depends whether obviously he makes it here. My my pick if he's there and if we got a choice, would probably be Anthony Hill Jr. from Texas, who's a linebacker. He might go towards the back end of the first, early second. He might not quite make it to us, but if he does, he's the one I'd snap your hand off to take him. I think he'd be an excellent pick in the second round, just because I think there's about 6 or 7 sort of linebackers maybe ahead of him, which if you think 6 or 7 linebackers going in the first round, seems like quite a lot, but it could happen. He'd be, if he's on the board,
hell of a class though. Hell of a class for linebackers.
If he's on the board, I'm taking him. I'm taking Anthony Hill Jr. Like that's just who I'm taking basically. If he's on, no matter who else is on the board, that's who I take. Just because I think he's a great player. He's a great run defending linebacker. And he can blitz as well. So we struggled against stopping the run last year. We like that aggression at times, like up the middle, and he's the one who can fill that gap and absolutely slam a running back. He reacts very, very quickly to any gaps where the running back's going for, and I feel like that'd be a real value for us. And then
I had him at the back end of the first.
He could do. He genuinely could. I think he'll go anywhere from the back end of the first to the middle end of the second. He's anywhere in that range. Just depends on how it goes, doesn't it? It's one of them. He would be. I'm not quite expecting him to make it to us, but he would be. I'd take him straight away if we did. If he's not there, and from the I know what I'm going to get for this because he's an Alabama player, but if we can let it roll down, if we can let it roll down to sort of our potentially, you'd say probably 6th round pick, I'd take Justin Jefferson. Great name. He's an Alabama linebacker who has some issues. He's not that big, and he's not the best in coverage, but he can do it. He can do a lot. He's one of them free roaming sort of linebackers who can do a little bit of everything. If you got him in the 6th round, I think potentially should be a starter. Where he's going to go anywhere between the 4th and 6th, I think is probably a realistic one. And then I would say my other sort of I would guess. I'll go for the names that I think are going to be on the mock after this. But one of my favourite players in the draft, and I think I've seen him on one of the mocks. I can't remember whose it was. He's a safety. He's VJ Payne. I don't know if he might have come up somewhere.
I knew. I didn't purposely bring him up because I don't think we need a safety because
he's one of the players. He reminds me of a budget Jamal Adams, where he runs a 4.40 and he's 6'4" or 6'3" or something. And he's just one of them guys. You just go on the field and do things like that kind of guy.
Yeah,
yeah.
He's
I think he's a bit of everything, but not. He's just
it's someone's. It feels like I was watching some film on him the other day, and it just the way that he comes downhill reminds me so much of I get the feeling he was raised on Troy Polamalu videos. He gets down so quick into the box or and can be quite devastating at times. I mean, again, do I think it's a positional need? No, but there's just the football fan in me. I'm so with that.
He could play a nickel position. He could play linebacker. He could play safety. I think he could do all three. I don't know what he'd do all three. Any of them significantly well. I don't know. But he's not going to go high. So for a later round pick, he'd just be a little wild card where we could throw around the field a little bit. Not that we've quite got that luxury with our picks this year, but if it'd be a fun one if we could.
Liam, you've sold me already. Yes,
yes,
I'm so down for that.
He's just excited.
That's the question though. Are we going for needs or are we going for best player available still? Because we've had 5 years of BPA now, so we're coming away from that, or are we actually plugging the gap like we need to?
Well, I suppose you go, well, what if you take positional needs out of it for a second, which goes against everything that we should be thinking about right now.
Yeah.
Like, I suppose it's like impact. So,
Yeah.
like, if you're gonna focus a unit of the defense onto stopping the run, like, is it a bad pick? Like, I mean, would I trust him now over JD Bertrand at linebacker? Yes. So if and God forbid, if Jesse Bates gets injured or somebody has to come off the field, like, again, we talk about it all the time. Depth is also important, and it's just like,
Yeah.
But now I'm sold on it. So thanks, Liam.
Yeah, it'd be a good one. And then I reckon a couple of these will probably be on people. These are not necessarily people that I wouldn't say I'd pick, but these are my predictions for who might be on the mock drafts / potentially on Mark's picks as well. I think the first one probably, I reckon he's probably on Mark's just because he's massive. Is Markel Bell, who's a tackle who's like 6'9" or something from Miami. He's like 6'9", like 19, like 25 stone or something like that. I bet he's on a few drafts just because that guy is an absolute unit of a tackle.
He's on
the
two
dude
of
on the
ones that
Hurricanes.
I've got here.
Is he on there?
The dude on the Hurricanes.
Yeah, he's on the Hurricanes. Yeah. He started left tackle for them. Yeah.
He's so. I was about to swear there. He's so huge. Like, yes.
What word were you going to put there?
Well, one beginning with F. Like, he's so effing huge.
He's so fucking huge.
I thought he might be on a few balls.
If I'm interested, if he is on mock drafts, where? Because, like,
yeah, it'd be interesting.
I mean, you need to get him in shape.
Yeah, he runs a 40 in about 6 years, doesn't he? Something like
that. Yeah. Excuse me. Offensive linemen don't need to be that quick. That's all right. If they can, because he's a tackle as well. But yeah, he was on my list. I totally forgot about him. Actually,
just for context, the two that he's on
over
out
2
of these,
meters tall.
Yeah.
Wow.
He's 2.06 meters tall.
He's huge.
He's huge. Absolutely. It's a very small sample size, but out of the ones that I've got here, someone's taken him at 122.
Yeah.
And someone taken him, done a trade down, so hard to say, but 137.
Right.
So that's where this
I mean,
I could see it.
Ooh, yes, please.
He's a
I
don't know whether he will transition well,
flowing,
but I think he could do it. Another one I'm going to guess is on people's boards, just because he plays for, is Christian Miller's going to be there. I've got no doubt he's got to be in somebody's mocks because he plays for Georgia, and that's just standard.
He's on. He's on
second.
2 of these as well.
He's in both probably second round pick because I don't think he's going any further than that.
One at 48 and one a trade down to 52, but 48.
And then the other name that I've seen a couple of times, I can't remember where I've seen him mentioned now, is another Georgia boy, not the Bulldogs, the shit one. Sorry, the bad one. No, the really bad one.
Who had Liam
Whoever's
on their
got
bingo
that,
card for ruining this? Like,
no chance.
Do we have a beat machine to put on the top?
Can I now call Caden Ellis?
No.
It's a free throw, man. The less good Georgia, Georgia State is Ted Hurst. Is he on anybody's board? I feel like it's like a bingo game.
I've got his name on my big boy list. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's not on any of these ones.
He's really good size, and he's got all of the attributes, but he does play in a bin fire of a conference for a bin fire of a team. So Like, I don't know how much that
Hard to judge.
sort of says about him, really.
Georgia
Yeah,
State's
that's the name.
Georgia State's not a good
might be
look.
out there. But I'd be interested to know who else is out there.
All right, let's do it then. Let's have a little run through. Before I get any backlash, I am simply reading these out. So I don't know how feasible they are, how bad these players are, apart from a few that I've read into. Big favourite for the 48th is Avion Terrell. I mean, I think that's probably based on sentiment over actually. Yeah, you know what I'm going for. Already referred to him, Caleb Banks, quite a few times. D'Angelo Pons a couple of times from Indiana, cornerback. So he's and they're all of him at 48 as well.
Yeah.
So don't know if that one's any reference. Moving down a little bit, we've got Bryce Lance from North Dakota, wide receiver. He appears 4 or 5 times. So again, don't know. Just reading names out here.
Nobody watches North Dakota unless you're a diehard college fan.
Yeah.
Is that the Bisons?
Yeah, they're not even in the.
I
Is he any relation of Trey Lance? Because he played for North Dakota as well.
Don't think so.
We've got Malik Muhammad from Texas, cornerback, a couple of times, but they're down at the pick near 78, 79, 80. Who else is a repetition? Demetrius Crownover, offensive tackle, Texas A&M. Not a clue. He's a few times as well. Bear in mind, some of these submissions could be through like super diehards. Did one of you say Branch earlier? Wide receiver.
Yeah, we like the ones that get arrested, don't we? So
yeah, people have him at 79 as well. So apparently that's a goer.
Daniel, straight out of jail, straight into the team.
We're just trying to be the new Patriots, mate. Don't worry about it.
Just a quick update. Bryce Lance is Trey Lance's brother.
There we go.
Oh no way. I mean, it's not a great career path, is it? But
again, I didn't know that because I don't watch North Dakota.
I didn't even know who he was, but I knew he was once that played for North Dakota. There's been one before, so.
Hang on though, little fun fact time. So their father, Carlton Lance, played cornerback for the Saskatchewan Roughriders of the Canadian Football League.
Wow.
And ladies and gentlemen, the London Monarchs.
Oh, no way. That's a weird little full circle, isn't it?
Wowzers, bowsers.
Yeah.
Again, it's not giving great genetics, but here we are. Football is football.
He had it. To be fair, I mean, like, again, I didn't watch it, but he had it. Bryce Lance had a hell of a season last season. 21 touchdowns. No, not 21 touchdowns. Ignore me. 17 touchdowns in 2024. 8 touchdowns last year. But it looks like he might be out with injury at some point.
The second level of college football is always a risk. You could get some great players. You just don't know what you're going to get. They're obviously one of the better teams out there, so like there's a chance that he's a success. But
I'll fly through the last 4 repeated names just in case.
Yeah.
So I won't go to the very bottom. Basically, when you go to the 6th and 7th rounds on all of these mocks, everyone's just from Georgia because that's just what people do when they run out of things like people to pick. We've got Tristan Lee from Clemson, offensive tackle. We've got Kevin Coleman Jr. from Missouri.
Yeah.
We've got who else is repeated? Trezun, the third from Texas. No idea. And then it just goes to Georgia. So it's Oscar Delp, Mika Morris, just shitloads of. Oh, I've
Who's
done it
left
now.
from Georgia?
Is
Georgia.
Is Brennan Thompson on there?
Brennan Thompson.
I'd be surprised if he wasn't, but maybe he's not.
I mean, I've really skimmed through them because there's quite a few, but I'm not seeing it now.
He's the track athlete wide receiver. He ran like the 14 like 4-2-1 or 4-2-2, whatever it was.
Nice.
Thingy State, whatever got a point. Michigan State, not Michigan State, doesn't play for Michigan State. Who's he play for? He's in for the SEC. The worst team.
I'm afraid, mate.
The worst team. Mississippi State. I knew I got there in the end.
Oh, okay.
He's a bit like a what do you call it? Who went to the Chiefs? Worthy.
Oh,
Xavier Worthy. He's made out of paper,
okay.
really thin, but runs really fast. I thought he might be like exciting for people because he can run like a. There's not tomorrow.
I mean, when we think about it, right, and don't get me wrong, it is very, very normal for people to just be like pick Georgia players. But if we do remember, when Georgia had their open day, Falcons took a busload of stuff. So
did he take 52 people? I think that's a full roster of people to watch people.
I didn't think it was that many. I thought it was like 15, 20. I may be wrong, but I mean, even 15,
so that's the busload, yeah.
Still a mad amount of people. So maybe it's not as mental as we think it is. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, realistically, you should be your Georgias and team and your Ohio States and stuff. Like, you should be sending a shed load of scouts to these teams like every single year. Without doubt.
He was so close to saying Alabama there, and then he realised.
Yeah, I'll there this year, but
can't help himself.
You can send a few.
Nice,
cool.
That was very productive, boys. So for anyone that joined late, if you want to watch the show back, we covered Tua, Pitts, Rook, Caden Ellis. Loads of the other little bits of and stuff like that. One thing before we bow out for the night, the boys have seen this, but I thought I'd share it with you all because it's really nice. My missus put a lot of work in to get this. Your boy turns 30 soon, and I got this sent to me.
30.
Danny, this is Mud Duck Todd McClure here. Just sending a little video shout out. I know you got a big day coming. Birthday coming up. Wanted to wish you a happy birthday. Want to let you know that what you're doing over there in the UK is not unnoticed. I see your podcast. I see the things you have going on, how you're trying to grow the brand for the Falcons over there, and just more importantly, your love for this organization. Wanted to wish you a happy 30th birthday from Mud Duck. Congrats, man.
Lovely stuff. Thank you to the missus for that.
Kudos to the missus. That's amazing.
I know, that's graft. That, you know what? I thought she'd paid for like a cameo or something, and she'd not. She just found people's details and tracked him down. However,
tell my boyfriend they're doing really well.
The catch to that is he does follow us and he has interacted. So there's only a certain, like, he might be bigging it up, but he does know we exist anyway. So it is good to see. So maybe at some point this season we can get a little appearance on the show.
Get him on the show. Yeah, 100%.
You know what? I'll clip that and then tag him in it and see what happens. But yeah, so I've just started shout out the missus there, and obviously that's the amazing. Boys for the work. Everybody knows how much graft we put in. Madrid this year, so that's a potential for Falcons. We don't know who we're playing yet. We can only assume. So yeah, we will be back with you all after the draft, I assume, for maybe a pretty bite-sized show, because there's not going to be too much to talk about unless the backroom staff go crazy all of a sudden and start pinging trades out left, right, and centre.
Yeah.
But thank you for watching, Mark. It has been a while. Do you want to do the sign off?
I can try, but I can pretty much guarantee that my microphone's going to let me down. But I'll do it anyway. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Obviously, we're all missing football right now, and it's great to get back together and talk about our dirty birds. You can find us everywhere. You can find us over on Insta, Twitter, open brackets. I'm still not calling it X, Elon. Facebook, everywhere. We're available everywhere. At Atlanta ATL Falcons UK. And if you're like me and you listen to podcasts in the car, then you can you can listen to the audio version of this. And you can find us on Spotify, Apple Music, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Oh, we are so back. First one of the season.
Did it work? Did it work?
Absolutely not.
It was
Not
not.
No.
Oh,
It
did
was,
not.
it was okay.
I did that as quiet as I could. And like every part of me wanted to just absolutely belt it out. I've got to sort this microphone situation out because it is a travesty.
Good, your pitch is just too good for my
perfect pitch. Yeah, for sure.
If there's any people that own any tech shops, if you want to sponsor us, that'd be stunning. We all need we all need a laptop as well now I think about it. So
Danny, before we sign off,
yes,
and I from myself and all of the boys want to say thank you so much for all of the different graphics and stuff that you do for the show. But I'm gonna say it before some utter
I think I know what it is.
Gutter snipe.
Is there a typo?
Comments.
There's a typo.
So in the bottom left-hand side of the screen, you've spelled therapy wrong.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
I noticed it straight away, but I'm not going to tell.
So welcome everybody to Falcons Therapy.
Oh my god!
Now,
I cannot believe
I
that.
wanted
You know
to
what's worse? That means every version of it that I've got is spelt wrong. Oh my god, it is. Oh my god. Sack me, replace me. I'm done with this show.
Well, no. As I said, we love you, and we all make typos. I just wanted to make sure that we acknowledged it before we went off, because you know how much we like winding people up on Twitter. And we even posted a tweet that day that had our followers arguing with each other, which we love. We love all your opinions, no matter how wrong they are. So I just wanted to make sure that we acknowledged it, and it's
we'll
it's
move
okay.
on. We'll progress from this. We all make mistakes.
We will learn and grow. We listen and we don't judge.
That's me not going to bed for another half an hour. I'm going to be sat there on Canva going. Thank you for that. If anybody's watching, and even after the disclaimer, still out that I've put Falcons Therapy.
Listen. I think the fact it goes to show how amazing our followers are that nobody has put it in the chat. Because if I'd been in the chat, it would have been the first thing that I did.
Yeah.
Because
I can't believe we've done an hour and 20 minutes with a typo. I'm devastated.
Well, I know, but the problem is I spotted it as soon as you press go live, and I was like, I have no way of communicating that to him.
Just looking at me in pain.
I was just going to hold up a sign that said I'm in therapy.
I was gonna say it, but I thought you can't change it now. Is that
why is it not even autocorrected though? That's absolutely diabolical stuff. Therapy isn't a word, is it?
Honestly, that like for the first 2 minutes when I saw it, I was questioning whether that is how you spell it. Oh
god damn it. Well, Thank you again, everybody, for watching. Thank you for not bullying our graphics. I will amend these for the post-draft show. And Mark, thank you for pointing it out. I am not going to sleep tonight.
That's okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, we will
No.
catch
I
you
just
next
want.
time.
Thanks, guys.
Oh,
Thank you very
Cheers,
much.
everyone.
See you next time. Oh, God. Right, that's a nightmare. I am clicking end stream. Goodbye, everyone.